Alright guys, today we're going to review a little bit and talk about all the different ways that you can use to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about slope-intercept form given the slope and the y-intercept. We're going to do an equation given a graph. We're going to look at slope-intercept form from standard form, and we're going to look at changing it from point slope form, or given a point and a slope, put in point slope form and go into slope intercept, and then given 2 points. So there's several different ways we're going to look at, and we're going to all go to slope intercept form. So the first thing you need to do is kind of remember what is slope intercept form. So y equals mx plus b. That is my slope intercept form, where m is my slope and b is my y-intercept. Alright, so the first problem here is not too difficult because they give us our slope, which is our m, and they give us our y-intercept, which is our b. Okay, so all we have to do is really plug that into our slope-intercept form. So this is probably the easiest way to write an equation in slope-intercept form. So we're going to say y equals, our slope in this case is 1/3, times x plus -5, or plus a -5 is the same as -5. You can write it as plus negative or just -5. Alright, the next problem we're going to look at is writing an equation in slope-intercept form given a graph. So we're still doing y equals mx plus b, but now we have to look at the graph and figure out what is our slope and what is our y-intercept. Alright, so here they've given us 2 points. Here's a point and here's a point, so we have to do rise over run. So we're going to go down 1, 2, and that's -2. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to the right 5, so that's a +5. So our slope is -2/5, and then our y-intercept is the point where it crosses the y-axis. So this is the x, this is the y. So our y-intercept is going to be that point right there. So if you look, that's down 1. So our y-intercept is -1. So again, we're going to just fill in our slope and our y-intercept. Y equals -2/5 x, and then plus -1 or -1. So that is how you look at the graph and find your slope and y-intercept. Alright, the next one is an equation given in standard form. We know it's in standard form because the x and the y are on the same side of the equation, okay? And anytime it's in the form ax plus by equals c, x and y are on the same side, then that's considered standard form. What we want to do today is change all of these into slope-intercept. So y equals mx plus b. Alright, so slope-intercept form has y by itself. So in this case, we need y by itself. So the first thing we're going to do is take the equation and just try to figure out what we need to do to get y by itself. Alright, so the first thing you do is when you look at this, you want to look and see that the 4x is on the other side with the y. So we want to move that to the side with the 14. Alright, so to move that over, we're going to start with 4x minus 2y equals 14, and we're just going to subtract the whole 4x from the other side. So that leaves us with -2y equals, and we can leave this as 14 minus -4x, or if we look, we know we're going to have our slope first. So I'm going to go ahead and switch this. The order doesn't matter, but I'm going to put the -4x first, and then plus 14 after that. So it kind of gets it set up to be in the correct form already. Then I need to divide everything by -2. So divide the whole equation so that you're not changing anything. -2 divided by -2 gives you 1, so that leaves y by itself, which is what we want up here, y by itself. -4 divided by -2 is positive 2x, and then positive 14 divided by -2 is -7. So now we have y equals mx plus b, and that would be a negative b, but still we have it in slope-intercept form. All right, so now we're given a point and a slope. We're still trying to go y equals mx plus b. We still want to go to slope-intercept form, but this time we're given a point and a slope. So given a point and a slope, there's another formula that you should remember. We can't put just a point. Well, we could put a point and a slope in here and solve for our y-intercept, but there's an easier way to do that by using the point-slope formula. So if we have y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, this is what's called point-slope form. And again, math equations are not real unique, as they are named usually pretty straightforward for what they have with them. So point-slope form has a point and a slope. Slope-intercept form has a slope and an intercept. So, you know, pretty straightforward with most math stuff. All right, so we need to plug in our point to x and y1, and we need to plug in our slope here, and then we could rewrite it in slope-intercept form. So let's go ahead and do that. So to put it in this form, we're going to have, this is our x and our y, and these ones just mean from point 1. We only have one point, so they're both x and y from point 1. All right, so y minus y, our y is 3, so y minus 3 equals m, which is our slope, so -3 times x minus our x from our point, which is -1. All right, so y minus 3 equals -3 times x, and then I can change a negative to a plus. All right, so if I go ahead and bring that over here, y minus 3 equals -3 times x plus 1. I'm going to use distributive property to distribute that -3. So y minus 3 stays the same for now, and I get equals -3x and then minus 3. And then slope-intercept form, I have y by itself, so to do that, I'm going to add 3. Y equals -3x plus 0. And if it's plus 0, you don't have to put anything there. You can just leave it as y equals -3x, and your slope would be -3, and your y-intercept would be 0. All right, the last one we're going to use, we're still looking for y equals mx plus b. We're still wanting to write an equation in slope-intercept form. This time we're given 2 points. All right, given 2 points, what can we do? Well, we can find the slope. Okay, so the slope, or m, can be found by y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. All right, and m, remember, represents slope. So if we look at our points and we have x and y, that's our first point, so we're going to put a 1 there. This is our second point, so we're going to put a 2 there. And you just have the difference of your y's, difference of y's, so -13 minus a -7 makes that a +7. And then over your difference of x's. So we're going to have 8 minus, which is +4. So if I simplify that, I've got negative 13 plus 7. That gives me negative 6. And 4 plus 8 is 12. So that reduces to negative 1 over 2, or negative 1/2. All right, so now we have 2 points and we have a slope. We still don't have a y-intercept. So we're going to go back up and use the point-slope form again in order to do this. So we just did this a second ago. We had y minus y equals m times x minus x. And that is the slope, or the point-slope form. We're still trying to get to this, but with the information given this time, we can't go straight to that. So sometimes you just have to use what you have and go through multiple steps to get there. All right, so we've got a slope. We've got a point. So let's plug it into point slope again. All right, so we're going to start with y minus, our y1 is negative 7, so let's go ahead and change that to plus 7, equals, our slope is negative 1/2, times x minus, our x1 is negative 4. Let's go ahead and make that a plus 4. And then we need to solve for y to put it in slope-intercept form. So y plus 7 equals negative 1/2 times x, and then negative 1/2 of 4. Half of 4 is 2. We need negative half of 4. So that is going to be negative 2. Now, one more step. Let's subtract 7 from both sides. Y equals negative 1/2 x. And negative 2 plus negative 7 is negative 9. All right, so again, we went to slope-intercept form given 2 points. All right, so hopefully this is helpful by letting you see that you can get to the same equation from different avenues. So there's many different ways to put an equation in point-slope form or slope-intercept form, or find the slope. You can do that by looking at graphs, looking at points, looking at equations, etc. All right, so today we went through several different things, all to find slope-intercept form.